Hi, I'm Bill Vales here with Mark Crory, and we're here for part 2 of social engineering. Mark, we covered a lot of information the first part of this show, and now for part 2, we're going to pick it up where we left off and
Great.
Start here. So we have some different social engineering types, and these are probably terms, maybe you've heard a few, but phishing, spelled with a PH,
Right.
but
Like the band.
like the band.
Yeah.
Yep. You're quite cool.
Well, I'm not as old as you think.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay.
Phishing, yeah.
But phishing is one, and then a variant of phishing is called spear phishing. And what spear phishing is, a phishing email may just send out a blast email to everyone and try to, get some response.
Sure.
But spear phishing is targeted.
Ah.
Okay, so it may be targeted.
Somehow they found out that you bought a certain product off Amazon, and now, and others have bought this product, and all of a sudden you've been targeted now with something that goes along with what your purchase was, and you're like,
right.
That's convenient.
It's customized to you.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, or it can be customized to an organization that you work in.
Sure.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Pretexting is a common scenario used in a lot of these attacks where the attacker is trying to set up a pretext, give you a believable scenario, that makes you say, oh yeah, this is legitimate. I should give you all my money.
Right.
Well, not quite that blatant, but, so.
Now, a pretext would be by maybe using a logo, a false logo, or, you get an email that supposedly is from Microsoft or Verizon or some reputable company when really it's not. And so the pretext is to lull you into a false.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And then we have baiting. And baiting generally involves like a physical piece of media, like a memory stick. Okay.
Oh, so they hand them out at a
trade show.
Yeah. And they've got some sort of virus on them that when you plug them in.
That's right.
And yeah. That's interesting.
And that's common, or a DVD, or any type of physical
So someone has
media.
to take the bait.
That's right.
What was dangled in front of them: a CD, a DVD, a flash drive.
That's right.
Okay.
And folks, you should think about this when you let somebody into your place of work with a flash drive. Here, let me just put this in for a second.
Oh yeah, we do that all the time here, unfortunately. Someone comes in, they're on a show, and they're like, oh, I have a PowerPoint I want to show you.
Yep.
Now, they may be up and up, nothing nefarious about them,
right.
But you don't know where that's been,
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You don't know where this has been. And, what I'll leave for the audience is a large hack was done through baiting that took down part of the uranium enrichment program of Iran. And that was called Stuxnet, Stuxnet. And that was executed through a baiting scenario. The hackers could not get into the closed nuclear facility of Iran. So what they did, the hackers being the United States and Israel, what they did is they made a lot of bait available at places where various people that had access to Natanz, which was the nuclear facility, picked it up, and once one went in, game over.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And there's some great shows on this. NPR did a real good show on that. So baiting is...
Now, you shouldn't have the problem with something right out of the package.
Well, you shouldn't, but it's really very easy. Like at a trade show, I've been to trade shows, and you have a fishbowl. Here's a free USB memory stick, and they're all sealed up. really.
Well, here's the thing. If I was a government and I wanted to create a virus that went into the opposing side's computers, maybe I would come out with a packaging of this. And yeah, people in the United States are going to get it, or the average Joe, and that doesn't matter. But I want it to go to that one specific computer, and I'm going to take a chance that maybe it'll get there. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Baiting. What else we got? Quid pro quo. We talked about that.
Yeah, that means something for something. Okay, where maybe someone calls you up and says, "Hey, your computer's been hacked. I can fix it for you if you give me access."
Sure. Like,
something like that.
Yeah.
And then a couple physical aspects of this, and I have some experience with people when I worked at DEC that were very, very good at these two techniques. One is called tailgating, where you're going into a building and everyone at that building has a badge. Like when I worked at DEC, everyone had a badge. Well, it was common that you would open the door and let in all these people ahead of you because you're being polite. Well, that's called tailgating, and social engineers take advantage of that.
That's interesting. I know they warn people when they're going into an apartment where you live.
Yep.
You know, sometimes people will do that. They'll run up and say, "Oh, just hold the door for me," or they'll hold some groceries, like maybe they don't have their key ready, and they just want to gain access.
Yeah,
so.
and once you have physical access, and oftentimes...
But this, you're talking about in a building, you know, someone being able to walk into, like, say, town hall. Well, town hall is an open building, but some other building that has a swipe code.
Yeah. If the organization hasn't implemented something called a man trap, which requires one person in at a time, where it actually has a door in front, door behind. One person goes in, they swipe their card, and then it opens the door, and then the next person goes in.
Well, most of our viewers probably don't have that type of security at home.
Well, no, at home you don't need it.
Right. Oh, and then there was another thing you were going to mention about dumpster diving.
That's right, dumpster diving. The things people throw away, the valuable things people throw away.
In fact, there was here at Town Hall, we just had some security training where we had to go and watch a bunch of videos on this very thing, scams and that type of stuff. And the guy who put this together, the person who's now the head of this type of stuff, was a guy who was famous for
dumpster diving among
what was his name?
Kevin Mitnick.
Okay.
And I was first introduced, not personally, but introduced to the work of Kevin Mitnick when I worked at DEC. And I came into work one day at DEC working in the very secure operating systems group to learn our source files were hacked. We were game over.
Right.
Okay. And it turned out that Kevin Mitnick had perpetrated a hack where he got access into our system, and it took him a lot of reconnaissance that he had done over time, and part of the reconnaissance that he performed was through dumpster diving.
Wow.
So he could go into the dumpsters and retrieve our company phone books. And our company phone books were great. They had organizational charts in them, so you could tell who worked for who right up.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is the shred. Get a shredder.
Yeah.
They're pretty inexpensive, and just shred all your papers.
Yes.
Including, you know, old bills that maybe were paid, credit card statements, or, you know, any kind of stuff with personal information.
Absolutely. And Kevin spent several years in a federal penitentiary. It was he got in some really hot water. And I know people in town here that dealt with him one-on-one.
Wow.
You know, people that I work with that dealt with him one-on-one. So,
see that.
but now he's the president of a respected computer firm, security firm. Done quite well for himself.
Well, he certainly knows. What better person, I guess, have on your team than someone who knows what the enemy's going to do.
Yeah, great social engineer. So,
what about computer service scams?
Well, this is something you're familiar with.
Yes.
Okay, you got to start the conversation by don't accept any of these offers.
No.
Okay, don't accept any of these offers. And as you were saying.
But let's say your computer breaks. How do you know when you bring it to a computer place that repairs things, that while it's there, someone's not going to, I guess you have to just trust. At some point you have to trust because,
Yeah, I mean,
You hope that the guy or business that you're bringing it to is reputable.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. A lot of these scams start off with these pop-up ads coming up informing you that your system is infected and we can help.
What is it, if you get pop-up ads that just start coming up all of a sudden, what's the best way to just find out, how do you find out where they're coming from? Is there a tip that you can give people listening that you got all these pop-ups that you don't want, here's what you do to find out how to eliminate them or to get rid of them or why they're coming up?
Well, one way to control pop-up ads, which is not perfect, is you can go to your browser. And depending on what browser you use, either Google Chrome or Firefox or Internet Explorer or Internet Edge.
So when you say go to your browser, you mean?
Okay, so you go to the settings area of the browser, and there will be an option there to eliminate pop-ups. So anytime a piece of software or a website wants to put a pop-up up, there'll be a message being displayed to you on the browser that will say,
it says enable.
Enable.
Yeah.
So that's one way. That's not a perfect way, but I use on my system a couple different types of software called ad blockers, and those work very well.
And did you buy these at a computer store, or did you download the software?
I downloaded these from what I consider trusted sites.
Okay, because that will be my next question.
Yeah.
How do you know you're just not downloading more trouble?
Well, again, you have to do a little research for everything you download. And
so here in town, folks, Bill Vales is available here at the town hall, and you're here on Thursdays teaching a class.
Thursdays from 10:30 till 11:30, and we linger till noon.
Good. So in that time period, if you have a question about computers or whatever, Bill will be happy to help you out and give you some advice and tips.
Yeah, and we've been meeting now for 3-4 years, and it's you've never missed anything. Okay, because we always seem to go over the same thing in different forms, and there's always something for everyone, so you can jump in at any point. But I do try to help people wherever I can.
Yeah, and the fact that you do those classes for free here at the COA is a great service too.
Yeah, and another program that we have for seniors, which we started this year, is called the Tiger Tech Help Desk.
Yeah.
And the idea with that was to pair up a Littleton High School senior or Littleton High School student with a senior, and in a one-on-one format, they answer their questions. And that turned into be quite successful. And that'll start up again this school year.
Good.
Probably around September.
I'm glad you're going to continue that.
So something you had mentioned about some of these websites with these computer scams, but it could be really any scams, is various misspellings that you'll see, incorrect or poor grammar.
Sure.
Grammar. Is it ER
Grandma.
or AR? Okay.
Grandma.
Logos not quite right.
Yeah.
And we have some examples here just to, here's adobe.com. Oh, we forgot the C.
Yeah, adobe.om.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one offers excellent tech support.
Yeah,
Excellence is spelled incorrect.
Yeah, and this should ring a bell. This is deja vu for you.
Yeah.
I think this was the...
that was them.
That was them. And offer excellence, tech support. And something that you can do for these websites too, it depends how much you really want to drill down on it. I mean, I hope people can recognize things like this over time as, oh, this is a scam, let me just get on. But if you take that phone number, for instance, and do a Google search of that phone number, you'll see that particular phone number comes up in a number of places as a scam.
Right.
Okay. But
hindsight.
I've had a year to do this now. And then this, the same company, which is always kind of humorous when we first found it, reliable, economical, shouldn't be capitalized, software updation, whatever that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Call us toll free, the toll capitalized, and various is
also misspelled.
Spelled wrong.
Yeah. So, so we have, it's, just things to look for. We did mention that they are getting better at that.
Yep.
Can we talk about, I know you haven't quite gotten down there yet, so let's go to this. What is this? Computer service scams.
Well, in general.
Oh, in general, yeah.
Just in general, isn't it odd that a particular company would know that your system is running?
Yes, bad.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you have to step away from things.
Sure.
In the heat of the moment.
If you're getting these annoying pop-ups all of a sudden out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden one of them comes up and says, hey, you getting these annoying pop-ups out of nowhere?
Yeah.
That's
you might think that the company offering you the help was the one that infected you. Yeah. So never, ever, ever give your passwords to anyone, your credit cards, anything like that.
No.
And once you let your information out, you're in a weakened position. Right?
Absolutely.
Not only do they have your information, but they may also have a legal okay to go ahead with the jobs that they're performing.
Right.
A type of malware that is really it's been around for a long time, but has really come into vogue in the last year or two is called ransomware.
Yeah, ransomware. What is that?
So ransomware, what happens is it gets delivered through email, and it has the effect of it encrypts your data such that you can't use it unless you pay the ransom to get the key to decrypt it.
And by paying the ransom, you mean physically paying money to somebody?
Physically paying money.
Now, it's kind of like a hostage situation. They've taken over your computer and say, we're not going to give it back to you unless you pay X amount of money. Now, how do they get away with that? Because don't you think that if do you have to wire them money, or?
You have to pay it through what's called a cryptocurrency, something like Bitcoin. Have you ever heard of Bitcoin?
Yeah, I've heard of Bitcoin, but it just seems like that would be something that the government could track, like who owns these accounts.
It's virtually not traceable.
Wow.
Yeah, it in itself is encrypted, and it's.
Now, do they communicate via email, Or do they talk to you on the phone and, you know, disguise their voice? Or
they've actually done a very good job at setting up, believe it or not, world-class support. That they have a support line that will help you pay the ransom, and they'll take you through all the steps on how to set up a Bitcoin transfer.
I just can't believe that they have not been found, or there's maybe some of them have, but I mean, wow.
Very few.
Unbelievable.
Very few.
Ransomware. All right, so yeah, I want to talk about something else too. You know when you get junk mail and you're like, what is this? And then I don't want to get this. And down the bottom it says, if you don't want to get this, hit the unsubscribe button.
Yes.
And I've done that many times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to get your email. Unsubscribe. Well, that can be a way, I learned in the little class that I took, of hackers. You know, you think you're clicking on it because it says unsubscribe. Mm-hmm. You click on it and you've now just downloaded something onto your drive.
That's right. That's right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
How many of us out there click those little unsubscribe things all the time because you don't want the junk mail?
Yeah. I've been clicking this one for years, and this is from a legitimate company, service company called, employment company called Ladders, just to keep up with the different jobs that are available. And no matter how many times I hit unsubscribe or how hard I hit it,
it don't do no good.
It don't do any good, and that's a reputable company. So some of that just speaks to the general state of customer service.
But the best thing to do if you get junk mail is what?
Well, don't read it.
That, and if you want to get rid of it, just delete it.
Delete it.
Delete it. Delete it. All right, so in 1 minute or so, we only have about 1 minute left in the show. Can you wrap it up? We've got a lot of material we haven't covered.
Not a lot,
Good.
but let's see. Can I wrap it up? Well, what can you do?
Sure.
Okay, so what can you do to protect yourself? Never ever give out your passwords, credit card numbers, or any personal information. Mm-hmm. You should never do that. If you think you've been scammed, you should contact someone that you can trust to have them sort of help you through what's going on. Mm-hmm. You should always have a backup of your data. If your data is important to you, you know, pictures, documents, tax returns, things like that, you should always have a backup for that. Yeah. For instance, if you got hit with ransomware and everything was encrypted, it'd be nice to know in your memory stick in the back room, you have all your family pictures on that. You don't have to rely on
well, as the credits roll here, we'll show some of those websites that you can go to. Consumer.ftc.gov is a good one. They have lots of articles about scams. And also www.fraud.org. And that's another thing that you can click. We encourage you to click on and explore.
Right, right. So at that point, I appreciate you being here.
Sure, thank you.
There's lots more material for us to talk about.
Yeah, we'll do another show because unfortunately new scams come out all the time.
All the time. So that's it for this Tech Talk. So practice, practice, practice. See you next time.